What's up, guys? This is Cam, and I started ReveD RC about a year or so ago, and this is my YouTube channel where I'm gonna start showing you guys everything I've done to all these RC drift cars and kind of keep everyone updated and posted along with my Instagram at ReveD RC. So I'm going to go ahead and take you through kind of the setup with the new ReveD RDX and some of the little things that I've done to change it and kind of improve the driving for a straight out of the box kit. So let's go ahead and pop the body off and I'll show you what's going on underneath this thing. So for electronics, I am running the Hobbywing XD10, the Hobbywing D10 10.5 turn motor. They both have fans on them. Revox gyro and the ReveD RSST servo with just like a generic metal horn on there, and then my FlySky receiver. And then I added big bore shocks with the stock springs front and rear. One thing I noticed right out of the box was this chassis had really stiff rear suspension, where normally we've always set our cars up to have really loose suspension. And this still has a little droop, but it's firm. The front's nice and loose, kind of bouncy. For like a faster rebound, and I've been playing with thicker oil in the front shocks to slow the rebound down. So with weight on here with the body and a battery, it sits properly for the spring rate. And then I just put in a CLSD, the Rhino Racing limited slip diff. It's got 12 or 8 gears in it. 4 hard springs, 4 soft springs, kind of interchanging. And I had a Yokomo gear diff in there, and it drove fine. I never drove it with the spool just because I know how a spool acts on the surfaces that we drive on, so no spool. Let's see, what else did I do? I added titanium hardware everywhere, just hardware that I've had in all my chassis. Magnets in the front, body posts in the rear. And then I'll definitely like put clips in of it driving, because first laps out of the box it was dialed in. Thing done. Something I just added was turnbuckles in the rear, titanium turnbuckles, just so I can adjust camber, because this had -4 to 5 degrees of negative camber in the back. So I'm trying placement in the rear for the upper hub link mount, camber link mount, and all the way in on the back to have a really long arm, so the outside wheel when it's loaded up actually flattens out. Still experimenting what I actually like driving with, so that's a new testing point. The rear arms are shimmed 2 millimeters on the rear. In the center pucks I have 1 millimeter shims, and in the front toe block arms there's no shims, so that essentially gives it pro squat. So when your weight transfers back, your arms are operating at a horizontal level instead of tipping back with the chassis. Just kind of helps with grip on the surface. We run on polished concrete, so it's finding grip is the key for our driving. And then that's about it. I really like this car's stock. I love the simplicity of the arms. Having fixed link mounts, it just leaves no more questions to be asked, like if your alignment's straight or you have to put on the rack every time you drive it. It's just simple, like kind of good to go. The arm mounts pretty interesting, like it's a solid single piece on the top and the bottom with hinge pins, but with the grub screws locking everything out, like they stay nice and smooth. I did put like a 0.1 mil shim in the front, just so it's not kind of adjustable caster through the steering range. And then haven't tuned the servo yet, so that's probably coming up. And then I can do a video later showing my settings in the ESC, just kind of how I've set it up, I guess. But yeah, the ReveD RDX is probably the best RC drift car you can buy for the money, out of the box. Like it's I've driven MSTs and Yokomos and MC1s and my ND1, and this car kind of suits me. It's light, it's flickable. The rear weight, I was afraid of it having a pendulum effect, but it really doesn't. It plants the car. It kind of supports the weight and allows you to stay on throttle. So yeah, that's kind of my notes so far on the RDX. I probably have 8-9 packs through it, so still getting to know it and making adjustments. I guess the other thing I did was spaced up the front shock tower and put small caps on the big bore shocks, just so it has the proper amount of droop for the spring rate again, and then the ride height depending on how high. I like to have my arms pretty horizontal when there's weight on it. So that's the setup. Got these seats thanks to Mile High RC. 3D printed those for me, and then I attempted to flock them. I don't know if it turned out the best. And then on the body, I'm working on this cage, which is stainless steel that I bent for a crawler project and kind of repurposed it for this. And then fun little side pieces that I still had the roof when I cut the top off this. So I'm going to try to figure out how I'm going to mount it up with some magnets. And then, yeah, we'll have a removable roof. Some nice little scale details on the A90 Supra there. So thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe. I'm going to start doing a lot more drift video content things. I guess info, stuff that I learned, stuff that maybe is new in the market for drifting. So make sure you stay tuned, hit subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.